All right, guys, welcome to the ultimate email deliverability guide for 2024. I decided to make this guide because I see a lot of people struggle nowadays. It's getting an increasingly difficult thing to manage. Um, a lot of people don't know what to do. They're just landing in spam and they don't know how to bypass this or improve this. That's why I made this checklist for you. I literally left no stone unturned. Literally, there's everything you can think of when it comes to optimizing your deliverability. So yeah, I'll put this in the description so you can check it out and use it for yourself. But I'm going over this with you to do a little bit of commentary. Now I divided it in two categories. So we have non-negotiables and we have recommended. So the first section is you basically need this or it's game over pretty much. And the second recommended section is, some things you can do to increase it marginally, but are not absolutely necessary. Okay. So I guarantee you there are things on this checklist you haven't implemented yet. So make sure you check it out completely and you see if you're implementing everything right now. So the first thing in the non-negotiables, we all know this, right, is setting up our DMARC, our DKIM, and our SPF records. Now, there are infinite guides on YouTube on how to set up your DNS records. So I recommend you just look up how to set up DMARC, DKIM, SPF records. I'm not going into full detail on how to actually do it, but yeah, just so you know, you need to set these up or it's already game over. So we need to set these up, okay? The second thing is we need to set up a custom tracking domain on your sending platform. So if you're using Instantly or Smartly for your sending, so let's go to my Smartly here real quick. So if we are in the email account section, warm up. No, we need to go to general. It says custom tracking domain, right? So we want to use a custom tracking domain. It's really easy as well. Just look up a guide on how to set it up. Okay. Third thing is get your domains from GoDaddy or Cloudflare and avoid Namecheap at all costs. I've seen a lot of people go to spam when they use Namecheap domains. So yeah, the best thing to do in 2024 is probably using the GoDaddy plus Outlook combo. Now, GoDaddy has a deal with Microsoft, making it pretty cheap to buy Outlook accounts. So yeah, probably your best bet is to go with GoDaddy and Outlook, or use Cloudflare for your domain. The best domains to buy are .coms, .co.io are also decent, but .com is just your best bet. It's also one of the cheaper ones as well, so you want to use that. Now, if you're a company in the UK, you don't want to use .co.uk, or if you're an AI company, you don't want to use .ai. Unfortunately, just go with it .com. Okay, it's really simple, and it always has the best reputation, which with everyone as well. So just use it .com. The fourth thing is make sure you don't end up on any significant blacklists. Okay, so what you want to do is use either MX Toolbox or Mail Tester, and see when you think your deliverability is dropping. Just use these tools to see if you're on any blacklist, and it wouldn't hurt if you do it every other week or something, or every month, to just see if you're on any blacklist. If you are, you need to do whatever you can to get off of there. Now, there are some blacklists that are very common, like SORPs, for example. So you can be, a lot of people are on SORPs, and it's not a really big deal, but you want to look into like which blacklists you really don't want to be on. Okay. So that's the fourth thing. Check for blacklists. Now, the next thing is we want to warm up our inboxes for at least 2 to 3 weeks. Okay. At the very least 2 weeks before sending any cold outreach. We want to build up to 20 warm-up emails and with a 30 to 50% reply rate, and want to keep up our warm-up at all times. Now, Smartly has this pretty cool feature, which is auto-adjust warm-up to sending ratio. Like you can either set it up manually or you can just tick off this box, and they'll just take care of everything for you, which is pretty cool. I'm testing this out. It seems to improve a lot. Next thing is we want to send out a maximum of 30 cold emails and 20 warm-up emails per day. You used to be able to do much more, 50 plus per day cold emails. Now I'd rather keep it at 30 maximum. Okay. We want to keep a minimum sending delay of at least 5 minutes. Also a setting right here. I actually set it to 10 minutes, but you want to set it at least to 5 minutes. So yeah, that's really important as well. Okay. This is a big one, and it's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. Like, you just need to think like, does this sending pattern look human? Okay, so this is really important. Make your behavior as human as possible. Like Outlook and Google, they don't want you to spam cold emails. They just want normal humans doing normal human stuff on their emails. So yeah, like just use your common sense when you set up your campaigns or your settings. Like, does this look human? Like, would someone send exactly 20 emails every single day with the exact same time interval on Saturday as well? Like, you just want to think about this stuff and like maybe switch it up every now and again. Like sometimes you might want to send on certain days, and sometimes you might not send on those days. Like, just keep in mind, make everything look as human as possible. If you make your sending patterns look robotic, it's going to be a lot more apparent that you're just spamming, and your deliverability will suffer. Okay, the next thing is check your copy for spam words using Mail Meteor. Okay, and this is a pretty cool thing you can use. You can just put in your email copy, and it will highlight spam words or like spam keywords or things that your ESP providers don't really like. Now, you want to keep in mind, you can maybe use one, maximum two spam word. Like, you still want to make your copy flow pretty naturally, if that makes sense. Like, if you really need to put in guaranteed or something, or it's your copy just doesn't read right or something, or for free, like, you can use like maybe one, maximum two of these words if you actually need it, but try to keep it to an absolute minimum is the thing here. Okay, this is another big one. You want to use spin tags in your copy, okay, and you want to do it as much as possible. You want to use it on at least 3 spots in your copy, I would say. So use, like, if you don't know what spin tags is, it's basically in Smartly or in Instantly, you just put these brackets in your copy and this divider or slash, whatever you want to call it, and close the bracket, and that's what we call spin tags. Okay, so what it will do is it'll randomize these words like, hi, hope you're well, how are you doing today? It will just randomize, and it will make sure no copy is pretty much the exact same. Okay, you want to use it on 3 different spots at least in your copy, so you have a lot of different combinations it can use, and yeah, you'll pretty much never have the exact same copy. Okay, now here's a very important thing I wanted to address. I see a lot of people that use spin tags, but they're not creative with it, and they do maybe hi, hey, hello. But what we've noticed is, like, definitely this is a big thing with Google. They don't really see like the meaning of the words, but they use a more semantic approach, which means they see like how many words it actually is, or something like hey, hello, hey, hey, hi, hello is pretty much the same thing for Google. So you want to switch it up like this, like hey, hi, hope you are well, and how are you doing today? First name, something like that, and then you actually have a different copy. So this is really, really important. You actually do it like that. So yeah, keep that in mind. The next thing is we need to verify our leads using either Never Bounce or Million Verifier is also another good one. Never Bounce is the gold standard. So yeah, it's a little bit more expensive than Million Verifier, but yeah, Never Bounce is definitely the best one. So yeah, we want to only use the valid emails we get from those. Okay. And we want to keep our bounce rates below 3% at all times. If you see your campaign is going above 5% bounce rate, just turn it off because you're just going to ruin your email accounts. Okay, so real important. And the final thing is you want to keep your login pattern consistent and don't let someone from across the world, for example, a VA, okay? You don't want to let them log in on your account without using a VPN that's local to your area. So this loops back to what I said before. Make your sending behavior as human as possible. Like they know exactly what you're doing. Like if you're, let's say you log in the US, like you created your accounts in the US, and then you have your VA in the Philippines that logs in, like they'll just pick up on it immediately, and you know you, you'll probably just get banned. So it's not even a deliverability thing, but it's just you'll just get straight up banned. So yeah, keep an eye out for that as well. Keep it really consistent. Always keep it on the same browser you used to create those accounts. So yeah, that's the final thing in the non-negotiable section. Okay. Now let's get into the recommended section. So the things I would advise you to do, but are not absolutely necessary. Okay. Now the first thing is don't put any links in your first email. I was actually thinking of putting this in the non-negotiable thing because yeah, it's I'd say just don't do it. Like there are some strategies you can do to put a video, like a Loom video, or I don't know what softwares there are out there nowadays, or a Clipio video in your first email. Yeah, it is pretty cool and probably increase your positive replies, right? But yeah, it's just I wouldn't recommend you do any links in your first email besides maybe your like your email, like your main email in the signature. That's the only link I would say is pretty acceptable. Other than that, I'd say don't put any links in your first email. The reason I say in the first email is because if your first email goes into the inbox, we can send videos or links, whatever we want, in the second email or the third email. That doesn't matter. As long as your first email actually lands in the inbox, you can put whatever you want in your follow-ups. They'll automatically land in the inbox as well. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, don't put it in your first email, but we can obviously use it in our follow-ups, which is pretty cool. Ideally, you want to send as a plain text and not as an HTML. So you'll have these settings on Smart Lead or Instantly. So yeah, that's the first thing. We don't want to track our link clicks, but it would be ideal if you just tick off this box right here, boost your deliverability by sending emails as plain text without any HTML. So what I will do is we'll make your entire email non-HTML, but this will also make you not able to track your email open rate. So that's a thing you need to look out for. Do you want to track your open rates, or do you want to do the non-HTML thing? Okay. Yeah, that's the next point, right? So you at least want to put off the tracking link clicks, but like I said, you can don't track email opens as well. Yeah, what I would advise you do is like you track your open rate at first, see where it's at with your first couple campaigns, and then I would turn it off just to maximize your your deliverability. So that's how I do it. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is rotate your mailboxes regularly. Okay, so let's say you have 20 email accounts. What you want to do is keep 10 in use, or like just send out a campaign for 2 weeks with those 10 email accounts, and you keep the other 10 on warm up all the time. And what you can do is after 2 weeks, or even you wait for them to drop in their health score. Let's say they go below 97%. That's where I would say it's becoming too bad. So then you want to put those other accounts, those other 10 accounts on warm up, and you want to use the other 10 that are just healthy, just chilling on the warm up, and they got you to 100%. And then I can guarantee you, if you do the warm up correctly, they'll just pull themselves out of the spam, and you'll be good. You'll be back at 100%, and then the other ones are going down again, and you can switch those out again. So it's pretty cool. Okay, the next thing is, if someone said they're not interested or they want to opt out, we just want to put them on our block list, or a do not email list, and we don't want to ever email them again, because first of all, we just can't do it. It's against the law, and if you accidentally do it anyway, they're a lot more likely to mark you as spam. So keep that in mind. The next thing is, we want to include a signature with the name, the email address, phone number, and ideally a company address as well. This increases trust a lot with first of all, your email provider, but also with your leads as well. Like if you receive an email without any signatures, you're like, who's this? Okay, so you want to include the signature with your name. This is where I said this is the only link that's pretty much acceptable. So this will also be picked up as a link, but you can do it. Email address, okay, the phone number, and your company address. Now, if you don't have a company address and you're all remote, you can just buy a remote address, and you can use that. Okay. This is another cool extra thing you can do. I think Instantly has this as well, but Smartly definitely does. You can match your leads email provider with the email provider you're sending with. So let's see. I think it's here as well. Yeah, this one. Auto analyze leads mailbox email service provider. So what this is going to do, if you tick this box, is basically if you send to Outlook, like your lead has an Outlook account, you are going to use the Outlook account you have. If your lead has Gmail, you're going to use your Gmail, because Gmail loves Gmail and Outlook loves Outlook. So that's another cool thing that will marginally increase the deliverability of your entire campaign. Okay, this has been a pretty long list, right? But yeah, we're almost through it. Okay, the next thing is, we want to avoid sending to personal accounts like Gmail, at gmail.com or at outlook.com. Definitely at gmail.com, because since February 2024, Google introduced a 0.3% spam threshold for these personal accounts. So what that means, literally, if you send out 1,000 emails to Gmails, personal Gmails, and 3 of those 1,000 mark you as spam, which is pretty much nothing, you're going to suffer. So I would advise you avoid those at Gmails at all costs, and you just send to this is only to add Gmails, right? So what you can do is just send your campaigns to company email addresses. So first name at companyname.com. That's no issue at all. Okay. But it's just if you send it to a personal Gmail. Now, if you're targeting local businesses that only have at Gmails, you might want to be more careful doing so. Now, the next thing is, don't put all of your eggs in one basket, okay? I know there are people saying just use Outlook nowadays. just use GoDaddy with Outlook, I would still advise you use some different providers. Still use Gmail; it's still pretty viable. Like if something goes south with one email provider, or you burnt your reputation with the one, let's say with Outlook, you still have your Gmails or any other SMTP providers like MailForge or Inframail. Now these are still pretty experimental, so you might run into some issues, but yeah, they're definitely going to get better. So yeah, that also ties back into this point where you can use the where is it? Yeah, Metro Leads email provider. Okay, so if you use both Outlook and Gmail, it's probably your best bet. So yeah, and the final thing is you can make it like this is not absolutely necessary, but it's still pretty recommended. So you want to make it impossible for email service provider to distinguish between different account pools. Okay, so what I mean by this is like if you purchase a series of Gmail accounts or you purchase a series of Outlook accounts, what you want to do is keep everything separate when it comes to the IP you're logging in with, the browser you want to log in on a incognito window. You want to use a dedicated IP on a VPN, and ideally you want to use a separate credit card as well. So there's absolutely no reason for those email providers to know you're the actual same person. So if one pool is going to spam, they don't know like that it's the same pool as the other one. So yeah, that can definitely hurt you in the long term as well. So yeah, that's a pretty cool thing you can do as well. Now this was the entire checklist. So yeah, if you follow everything I outlined here to a T, definitely these non-negotiables, literally, and even if you do these recommended as well, I can guarantee you your deliverability is going to stay in top shape. If you're still going to spam after this, I don't know what can help you. You might want to pray to the deliverability gods, see if that helps. But yeah, anyway, that was it. Like I said, I'm going to drop this Google Doc in the description as well, so you can check it out and use it for yourself. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider subscribing, and I'll talk to you soon.